In his parting address to the nation last week, President Biden warned about the dangers of misinformation, which of course is on the rise here in the United States. It was actually a pretty good speech. Here's what Biden said about misinformation. In his farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then about it, and I quote, "the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power." I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech industrial complex that can pose real dangers for our country as well. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies, told for power and for profit. We must hold the social media platforms accountable to protect our children, our families, and the very democracy from the abuse of power. And of course, he's correct. Misinformation is on the rise. It does pose a threat, not necessarily meaning that, oh my God, we're under attack because of misinformation. No. It poses a threat because it dumbs us all down. A dumb society is a more compliant society, and that is exactly what Republicans want. That's what big tech wants. They want people to look the other way and not understand what it means when they're being sued for monopolistic practices. But that warning from President Biden did not sit well with Fox News, one of the biggest purveyors of misinformation in the country. So, Fox and Friends co-host Lawrence Jones decided to downplay the real threat of misinformation, and he did it without a hint of irony by spreading more misinformation. I mean, that shouldn't come as a shock to anyone, right? Fox News host downplays threat of misinformation by spreading misinformation, right? That is the most obvious thing to ever happen. But here is what Jones said after Fox News aired that little snippet that I read you. "I just think this is a stupid move. Big tech, who has been in the pockets of the Democratic Party for years, they sit out one election cycle because things are going bad with the country, and now you want to make them the enemy? They helped you out the last time. What about apologizing to the American people? When you said that the laptop was disinformation, you knew your son was an addict. You knew he was posting things. You knew about it, and they covered for you. What about the apology to the American people on that? But they cover for you, and you still bash these people?" I mean, there is a little bit of irony in addition to the misinformation that you're like, now you're bashing these people? Dude, you spent years bashing these people. The whole network did. Everybody on the right did. You hated big tech. Hell, conservatives today, even though Mark Zuckerberg has gone full MAGA, y'all are still going after him. So don't act like, oh, we've always loved big tech. We love the Zucks and the Bezoses. No, you don't. You've hated them for years. Now suddenly they're bowing down to Donald Trump, and you're like, these guys have always been our best friends. What are you talking about? Y'all are stupid. So it's not just hypocrisy and irony. That is, of course, misinformation. And it's misinformation the way you're classifying the issue with the laptop. They all still allowed the posts about the laptop to go out on social media. Nobody actually banned it, right? They shadow banned it for about a day or two. And then they just said, no, we're just going to let it go. It happened. So y'all are still mischaracterizing the censoring of the laptop story while no one on your network is questioning, wait a minute, how did they get their hands on this? How are they allowed to post naked pictures of the president-elect's son? Nobody stopped to mention that, the massive violation of privacy that took place. But yeah, keep hammering on that. Not to mention, you're like, the tech people sat out one election. What election was that? Because they sure as hell didn't sit out the 2024 election. Elon Musk alone pumped roughly $250 million into the 2024 election. You call that sitting out? Zuckerberg has given $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration. Jeff Bezos has given $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration. That's not sitting out. The tech industry was never in the pockets of the Democrats. They have given money to Republicans ever since their inception. They basically give money to whatever party is in charge so that they can avoid regulations. Even when Ted Cruz was doing a hearing and he was going off on how horrible Google is, I looked it up. Google had given him tens of thousands of dollars. And of course, nothing ever came of that hearing either, did it? But even as y'all rail against big tech, they're still funding your campaigns left and right. They're only pretending to be MAGA right now anyway, by the way, except Elon Musk. He's just genuinely a friggin' nut. The rest of them, Zuckerberg, Bezos, all that, they don't give a damn what party's in the White House. If Harris had won, they'd probably be doing the same thing. They want no regulations. That is what this is about. And when the parties flip control in 2 to 4 years from now, big tech will do the same thing. They'll pay off the people in charge so that they can avoid regulations. They are not friends of Republicans. They are sure as hell not friends of Democrats. And they're not friends of average working day people. They care only about themselves, and they will suck up to whoever is in power, whichever party that may be, to get their way. And that is what is happening now. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.